Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today we're going to be talking about self-doubt and how do we squash self-doubt. So many of us have dreams that we wish to accomplish, and yet many of us never take that step towards accomplishing them. And you wonder, why does that happen? What keeps us from living the happiest and best version of our lives possible? And for many of us, it's self-doubt. Self-doubt creeps in and we don't feel like we have enough. We think we need to keep learning. We don't think the timing is right. I've got a news flash for you. Timing is usually always never going to be right. You're never going to feel ready for the big thing that scares you. We all get scared when it comes to changing things in our lives, especially if it's something that's really going to shake things up. But why do we keep doubting ourselves? And how can we crush that self-doubt? How can we move past it in order to do that next thing that really scares us? That's what I want to talk about today. If you follow me at all on my social media, you know that I do free readings for people on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I do a collective reading, I channel messages, and then I also pull some cards just to give some information for what's going on. And what's been coming out a lot lately is that your dreams are still there. Keep going, you're doing fine. But some of you are getting caught up in this self-doubt. And that's the thing that's keeping you stuck. It's not that your dreams aren't on the way. It's that you're self-sabotaging by doubting your own ability. And this could be any area of your life. It's going to be different for every single person. Today, I want to talk about how do we overcome that self-doubt so that we can move on and we can do the things that really make us afraid. And I know you're probably thinking, I don't want to do the thing that makes me afraid. No, you have to. Complacency in life is so boring. When we just sit there and do the same thing over and over and over again, if you don't try anything new, how will you know what really lights your soul on fire? We cannot be afraid to move forward. We have to face our fears head on. When I approach something, if it scares me, I know that it's something I have to do. There's no way around it. I get this feeling, I'm like, okay, we've got to tackle this just for my own self to prove that I could. But how do you overcome self-doubt? Because it can be super crippling. When you doubt yourself, sometimes that's just all it takes. You completely shut down and you don't even try anymore. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. What are some ways to overcome self-doubt? How can we squash that little voice in our head that says, "Wait, who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? You don't have what it takes to do this." We're going to silence that annoying little voice for good. Self-doubt can really hold you back. It can hold you back from taking a leap forward in your career. It can keep you from putting yourself out there in romance again. There's so many ways that self-doubt holds us back. We've made mistakes in the past, and so we tell ourselves, okay, because I made those mistakes, I can't do that again. And if I put myself out there, I'm going to end up making mistakes again, and I'm going to look stupid or I'm going to get hurt. And that's how we begin that self-sabotaging behavior. So how do we overcome that? The first thing is you need to remember that you have done so much in your life. There are already so many achievements that you have already accomplished. You may be thinking, oh, the things that I've achieved in my life are really small. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Trying to break habits in life and busting through goals that you have, that's a huge deal, no matter how small it might seem to you. So think about all of your past achievements. When you did something, and at first maybe you doubted it, but then you were able to get through it. How did that feel? You need to recognize yourself for all of your past achievements and all of the challenges that you've been able to surmount in this life, because that's a big deal. The second thing that I really want to, convey to you is the importance of not comparing yourself to others. You know, there's this expression that says comparison is the thief of joy, and that's really true. Maybe you did something and you think, well, I didn't do it as well as so-and-so. Or maybe you publish a book and then you say, well, I haven't published 5 like so-and-so. Stop doing that, because you're just your own killjoy, right? You are making yourself miserable, and there's no need for that. First of all, the universe is abundant. So just because someone else has accomplished something doesn't mean that you can't. In fact, I would take that, instead of being envious, I would take that as a sign of that person did it, so can I. Use it as a positive way to motivate you, not a way to compare yourself and put yourself down. It's really important as well to be mindful of your thinking. You know, those negative thoughts are going to creep in. They always do, especially when we think about imposter syndrome. If you have imposter syndrome, you thrive on all of those negative thoughts. But take a moment and really, really ask yourself, are these thoughts that keep coming up really true? Or are they irrational? Most of the time, the thoughts that come in over and over again, that negative loop, is all lies that we just tell ourselves. Try to take a moment and sit down and really identify the thoughts that creep in. Most of the time, we're so busy in life that we're on autopilot and we don't realize that that negative track is playing on a loop in our head, and it's what's running the show. That is why being present and mindful is so very important, because it can happen without us realizing it, and then it builds up power and speed and momentum whenever we are focused on that. And if we're trying to bust through those goals and we're trying to manifest the things we want to see in our lives, you can't focus on all of that negativity. It's just not going to work. You've got to flip the script. That begins by identifying what your script actually is. What is it that you keep telling yourself over and over again? And once you've identified that, take a moment to change your script. Instead of whatever it is that you're saying currently, like if you're saying, oh, I always procrastinate and I'm lazy, flip that around. I'm so creative that sometimes I'm overwhelmed. But I have so many ideas, and I am able to put those ideas into action. Change what it is that you're saying about yourself. Also, it's important to see, who are you spending your time with? Sometimes other people are very critical of us. I know that whenever I would talk about writing a new book or had a new idea, there's some people in my inner circle who would just look at me like I was an idiot, and that I didn't know why I was wasting my time doing all of that. They're never going to understand why I do what I do. They just aren't. And it's not my job to make them. My job is for myself to understand why I do what I do, and not anyone else. So if you feel like the people you're around are always squashing your dreams or putting you down or anything like that, it's time to change who you're surrounding yourself with. Find some really supportive online groups. I know that finding friends can be a difficult thing. Finding your tribe can be a difficult thing. My daughter was telling me that there is, the Bumble app that was a dating app. They actually have a friend version where you can reach out and find people who share the same interests as you, and so that you can attract a friend group, which I thought was fantastic, because sometimes it's hard to make friends when you're older. And the thing is, what happens is we make our lifelong friends. And then if you've gone through a spiritual awakening, sometimes those people no longer resonate with you. And it doesn't mean they're bad people at all. It just means maybe that particular group of people isn't really supportive of what you're doing. Maybe they don't understand. And you want to find people who really support you and lift you up. So you can have your one group of friends, but you should also have people that you can go to who will be uplifting and who will support you. There are a lot of online groups and communities for that. You can join my Facebook groups if you want. I try to put motivating things there, and there are a lot of other people in that group who are very supportive as well. But surround yourself with people who are really supportive of you. It's also important to find validation from within. This can be a really difficult thing because I know for me personally, I spent my whole life trying to please everyone else. I tried to find validation from everyone else. But I heard a really interesting thing. One time I heard someone talking about when we praise children, we should actually say to them, now, aren't you proud of yourself? Because that puts their internal validation within. It signals to them that they need to be proud of themselves, and it allows them to validate themselves instead of trying to validate themselves through others. Instead of saying, oh, my mom's proud of me, they're saying, I'm proud of myself. And I thought that was really interesting. And of course, it's not the way I was raised. But I thought, what a great idea, because we need to feel confident and accept our strengths and understand that when we do a good job, we should feel like, yes, I am proud of myself. Like, it's okay to feel proud of ourselves. And we should be able to validate our own selves without having to look to anybody else and say, are you proud of me? But instead say, I'm proud of myself. I don't care what anybody else thinks. You are your harshest critic. And so it's really important for you to be proud of who you are and be proud of your accomplishments. It is not at all being stuck up or conceited if you're proud of who you are. We should be proud of ourselves. So treat yourself with kindness and compassion and stop trying to be so critical of yourself. Instead, look for all of the ways that you can see what you've accomplished in your life and feel pride in that. It's also important to identify, what are your values? What truly matters to you? And are the things that I'm doing, do they align with that? Because sometimes the reason we doubt ourselves is because we're just not feeling aligned with what we're doing. So if you could sit and think about what absolutely brings you joy, what could you get lost doing for hours? It's going to be different for everybody. For me personally, one of the things I can get lost for hours doing is creating those graphics for social media or creating videos, reading cards. I could do that for hours and completely lose track of time. Or be on Pinterest for hours, right? And lose track of time. That gives us a clue as to maybe what we're more aligned with. That helps us to feel more confident in ourselves if we do more things that make us feel good and make us feel aligned with what our values are. So really sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that really brings me joy and happiness, and where do I feel the most aligned? Start doing more of those things. We're going to talk about this, but keeping a journal is a really good idea. I love journaling, and those of you who know me know that obviously writing is very cathartic for me, and it's very healing because I've written 2 books. So I like it. If you don't like journaling, that's okay. And you don't necessarily have to write it out, but they say that writing it out gets it from your body out and onto the paper and allows you to process whatever it is you're going through and get it out of the body. So that's why I think writing it down is a good idea, but you could always just speak out loud. You could answer these prompts. So I'm going to give you a few journal prompts that can help you to start breaking free from this self-doubt. So the first prompt, and you can come back to this whenever you want, so you can listen to this and then later say, oh, now I want to do those prompts, or you can pause it and go do them, go get pen and paper. It's totally up to you. But the first prompt is, in what area of your life do you feel like you're not doing enough? We all have these insecurities that we're just not doing enough in our life. Maybe you feel like you're not doing enough as a parent. Maybe you feel like you haven't decluttered your house and it's a mess, and so that's bothering you. What is it that you feel like you're not doing enough of right now? The second writing prompt that I want you to think about is, what do you want to do more of? You can make a bulleted list. You can just write in a paragraph. What is it that you would like to do more of? The third prompt is, what are you excelling at? So what are you thinking to yourself? I'm amazing at this. I am a rock star. I am capable. I do this very well. What is that for you? Again, this is going to be different for every person. The next prompt is, what makes you happy? So when you do this prompt, go back to your answers from questions 2 and 3. Highlight or circle the things you're doing or want to do that make you happy. It's important that we define that we're doing enough and we are enough by the actions we really like doing. Again, that's that being authentic, and that is it aligned with me? And the last prompt that you could look at here is, what can you do to feel like you are enough in each area of your life? What is some action that you can take in order to feel like you're doing enough? And what hopefully you'll realize in doing each of this is you're the one who decides what it looks like to be enough, to have enough, not anybody else. After you've gone through each of these steps, you're the one who has to feel like you're enough. There are people who are never going to make you feel like you're enough. You have to ignore them, because I believe anyone who puts you down or makes you feel worse than has to be miserable about themselves or is a control freak. They're not happy with themselves or their lives. You cannot worry about them. What we're focusing on now is, how are you enough in each area of your life? And is there anything that you want to do that would make you feel better in each area of your life? Not what anybody else expects, not what anyone else thinks. What do you want? What do you think? It's time to focus on what you think would make you feel like you're enough. And is it something that brings you joy? Because if you think being a good mom means I have to bake 20,000 cookies for my daughter's Girl Scout troop, but that makes you miserable, that's not it. That's not what we're talking about. But what would make you feel better? Oh, you know what? I like going on hikes. I could volunteer to take my daughter's Girl Scout troop hiking, and that would bring me joy. Okay, then let's start with those things that you actually enjoy doing, because that feels aligned with you. And the more aligned you feel and the happier you feel doing it, the more confident you're going to feel. That's what we're looking for. That's the sweet spot, right? Feeling confident in ourselves. So something else that I really, really enjoy is using affirmations. And sometimes I will listen to affirmations that are just on a loop in a recording, and I just listen to them over and over again. And if you're one of those people, you can save this. You can come back to this particular point in the podcast, because I'm going to give you some affirmations for insecurity or self-doubt. And when you start to feel insecure, you can say these things to yourself over and over again. So the first one is, I am not my fears. In other words, my fears do not define me. So I am not my fears. I rise above my insecurities. I have the courage to be seen. This one's a biggie, because I think this is where we really struggle, is we don't feel safe to be who we are, but it is safe for me to be my authentic self. I bring light to those around me. I am safe. I am protected. I am loved. My strength is greater than any struggle. I can do hard things. I release self-criticism and choose self-love. I am worthy inside and out. I am enough just as I am. I am radiant. I am stunning. I am beautiful. I love myself fully. I am always worthy. I matter. Now, I love using affirmations. There are a lot of other tools you can use. You can do the EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping. Just go to YouTube and search for a tapping on self-doubt. Or you can do guided meditations. Those are great because we kind of go beyond our conscious mind to our subconscious mind. Again, you could do a YouTube search there. I have the 60-day transformational journal on my website. If you're really into the journaling and you want to take that even further, the 60-day transformational journal has a page each day for 60 days that has a prompt and a quote to get you really thinking about how to set goals, get rid of limiting beliefs that are holding you back, how to write affirmations for yourself, how to manifest your dreams, how to express what you truly want, and discover what you truly want. Most of us don't even know that. And it also offers so many other benefits because it can help you to sleep, clear your mind, get rid of anxiety, calm those racing thoughts, helps you to release negativity, could help you solve problems. So many things that journaling really does. So if you're interested in that, the 60-day transformational journal is on my website. It is under the shop page. It is $14.99, but it's a great way to continue this work in identifying, okay, what's holding me back? How can I set goals? What is it that I really want? That's why I love the journaling anyway. Also, if you're looking to work more on this self-love, I have my 10-day intensive self-love course. It is 10 days of lessons, both video and writing, and gives you tools like meditation, EFT, all of that for $14.99. It's normally $20, but I still have it on sale because I want as many people to be able to take advantage of that as possible. So that's also on my website for $14.99. Just go to melissaoatman.com, and then you're going to go to the shop page. And once you purchase either of those things, the journal is a digital download, so you can download it yourself. The online course is online, as it states, and it's yours to keep forever, but you get immediate access to it, so you can start on it right away. The important thing to remember is that you are worthy and deserving of all the beautiful things. So it's important that you take care of yourself. Do what you need to do in order to live your absolute best life because you deserve to. It's your birthright. Don't stay stuck because that's not a comfortable place to be. Growth only happens when we take that first step towards fear and we tell ourselves we're worthy and deserving of all the things. I wanted to pull a few cards for you today to give you some messages. So the first one that came out is loving all that is. And to me, this is about understanding that, no, I may not be where I want to be. I may not be exactly where I had hoped that I would be at this point, but I'm loving the journey and I'm loving the process. And if we can learn to appreciate and love where we are, where we're going is going to be amazing. But we have to enjoy the journey. That's part of it. Learning to accept and enjoy where we are in the moment, even if it's not where we want to be. The next card coming out is guidance. It's support, signs, love, direction. Your guides are lovingly trying to point you in the right direction. They are sending you signs and synchronicities, whether it's through repeating numbers or songs and lyrics and songs. You are getting the guidance. You just need to be fully present in order to recognize what they're showing you. And I think that's the most beautiful thing, is understanding that we have a team who fully supports us every day. It's amazing. You also have truth coming out. For some of you, now is the time for you to recognize maybe you haven't been living in your truth, but the truth is about to come out. The truth is going to set you free. You have that coming out with change of mind. So I think things that once made you very happy maybe no longer do. So now is a time for reflection and deciding what is going to make you happy. What is the best thing to do for yourself? And that's where you need to put your focus. Okay? Pray about it. Trust on it. Wait for it to happen because it is going to show up in your life. All right, guys, I hope that today's messages were helpful. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening. And the greatest compliment you can pay me is to share this podcast with others you think might benefit. I want to remind you that my new book, Beautiful Morning, is now available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. It's also available on audiobook, on Spotify, on Nook, on Apple Books, on Google Play, so many different places. Wherever you like to find your favorite audiobook, you'll probably find it. And also, if you're interested in any of the courses that I talked about, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com, and go to the shop page, and there you will find everything. You can click on it to get more information about each course or online program. You can also just book a reading with me. I do one-on-one sessions with people. I do coaching sessions. All of that is also available on my website. You can purchase from my website, and I schedule individually, so you'll just email me when you've purchased it, and we'll pick a time for you that works best. All right, guys, I am sending you so much love and light. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.